I'm still waiting for the live stream to update. Well, apparently it's live, and okay, beautiful. Apparently, restream is a little bit finicky. Oh, whatever works. So, what's the plan right now? Oh, I gotta do the thing where I left off, isn't it? Gotta do this thing. Okay. The random connection thing. App game kit. Networking. String. Get string token. What is this? What is this? There's got to be a thing. Get socket string, write string, load. What is this? With all the character removed after the given character. String. Okay, so I suppose this thing here has anything to do with That's not it. That's not really what I need. Value to a string. Okay, so I knew that. So if I say client and I say for xx equals 0, xx below 7, xx plus plus. We'll do integer. Then what I'm gonna say is temp plus equals agk str random random 4. Motherfucker, you gotta be able to do this. Integer, fine. I will have to temp int random. No instance of overloaded function. Integers, yes. This thing's gonna earn me a goddamn stroke. Random sign, set random seed. Okay. Generate a random number based on the current seed value. Oh, this is a from and to. Okay. So random from 1 to, oh yeah, from 0 to 9. Okay, so okay, it's not complaining for now. So now if I print temp, oh yeah, and I need to randomize, don't I? Random seed sets the seed for the random number generator. 2 AGK applications using the same seed value will generate the same sequence of random numbers. By default, the seed is set at the current time on the startup so that each run of the application will generate a different sequence of the numbers. Okay, so what do we use here? Set random seed. Two AGK applications for one same. By default, the seed is set to current time on startup. Okay, so this is always going to be different. So this should in Dex. This client name, I should really put this in the appropriate location. as in right at the top. Use string client. Okay, and I gotta do this, do that, not that, not that. Here we go. Paste, paste. And what is this? Oh yeah. Stupid mistakes. HK print. Well, that's not complaining. See what it is. It's still reading client. What if I go int random? Ah, really? Oh yeah, that's right. Gotta declare it before I do this stuff. So that's a 0. Still a 0. And a 0 yet again. Right. It really shouldn't be creating the same number though. Titty sprinkles, that's right. That's right. I had to press the button in order for it to generate. It doesn't do it on its own. It still didn't do shit though. What the fuck? God damn it. This is more than amply annoying. When we press P, we're going to create a random number between two integers, int from and int to. I need to print that. In fact, it shouldn't be printing all the time though. It should only be printed once. So why does it print every time? Oh, somebody commented. Gemberry. Not really. No, I'm using C++ with the app game kit. game engine. Okay, so still nada. Why does this get printed every single cycle? Oh yeah, that's right, because it's outside of the thing. Random value. What if I, for the sake of an argument, going to place it outside? Is it going to generate these values? Yes, it does. Okay. So now, for the sake of argument, what happens if I print the client name? Client name, here we go. So this should have a random client name if it's working properly, which it doesn't seem to be work properly. What if I add this to the client name actively? Is it going to do the thing that I'm asking it to do? Yes. So what the bejesus are you telling me is wrong? Maybe I didn't write up the for loop properly. XX equals 0. If XX is below 7, XX plus plus. Inside of a loop, we're going to generate a random number, which is the exact copy of this thing. After we generate the random number, we're going to add that random number to the string, which works here. Why doesn't it work in the frickin' for loop? I'm not breaking out of it anywhere. This is annoying. No, that's comparison. That's God's sakes. The moment I finally get this thing to work. I mean, I could be a lazy piece of shit and just get rid of this. Okay, here's what I'm gonna try to do. Instead of this, I'm gonna do a do while, just to see if it's just my imagination or if it's actually a thing. Integer client name gen counter equals 0. So here's what we'll do, or here's what I'll do. For as long as client gen counter is below 10, I'm gonna do stuff, and in the end of it, I'm gonna increment +1 to this thing. In the increment +1 thing, I'm going to effectively do the same thing I did here. Generate a random number from 0 to 9 and convert it to a string and add it to this thing here. I'm going to promptly get rid of these two shenanigans because I know they work. So now client name should return a randomly generated client name. Random value client name. Still nada. Still not working. what does the variable come to, actually? What is the variable? Gen value. I'm sure it's something stupid, because I only make stupid mistakes that cost me like hours upon hours of progress. Gen value is 0. This means that this son of a bitch is not moving at all. Hold on, it's not moving because I didn't press the... Wait a minute. Fuck. It is way too early to be making stupid mistakes like that. Ah, no. Oh, he wasn't creating the number because I have to press a button for it to create a number. Oh man, that's stupid. That's so fucking stupid. So stupid. Okay, don't do this. Don't do that. I'm sure it was working right from the get-go. Motherfucker. Oh, this is stupid. Okay. It's okay. It's working. Now watch it not work. Press P. There we go. Okay. Something's wrong, client side array. Yeah, that's fine. So now that we have this random client number, how about I'm going to make sure that this loop actually happens. Maybe what? How many constant character? Okay, so we'll make it like 15 times so that there's 1 in a million chance that the 2 clients will generate the same name. And now let me check the client and server connection. Ah, that was stupid. Okay. Oh, you be the server. Yes. You, sir, be the client. Yes. P. Nice. Beautiful. It works. It works. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm also gonna have to be sending the block, the glowy block function or array of glowing blocks to the clients, just to make the experience consistent. Okay. Seems all right. And now for the server, same deal. Yes. Where's the client? The client is right there, floating in mid-air, because on the client side there is an object that exists there. On the server side there is not. Okay. Oh, damn it. I wanted to check if the server client stuff is working. Okay. And I created a client. Alright. You be the server. You be the client. And now I need to launch another instance of Visual Studio so that I could check the third client. That is fine. That's okay. That's fine. Please just tell me you can compile it. Come on. Okay, beautiful. B. Nice. Okay, so now I should have this client. There should be another client floating somewhere, or not floating somewhere. Okay, so first client's gonna be here. I'll move this to that monitor. This is why I need more than one monitor. This client is located over here. Where's the other one? There's the other one. Nice. And this is the... That's the other client. Okay. Wait a minute. What? There's supposed to be 2 boxes. Yeah, there's supposed to be 2 boxes right now. What about this? Okay, so client, the second client sees that there's 3 objects. The host sees there's 3 objects. However, the second client, or the first client does not see the... Oh, wait, what the fuck? It's down there. Why is it down there? Son of a bitch. Now I gotta debug this. And the setup time for debugging is taking forever. Anyways. Okay, so let's see if we can find the most data we can. Which client are we not seeing? I know that this is a client. This here is a... This here is the server, I think, yeah. Aha, so it's the second client. The first client's not seeing the second client. I think. Let's see. Okay, so on the screen I can actually see the other client jumping. So yeah, it's the oh, what the hell? 2 clients have the same ID. Why is that? Okay, so let me debug this again. Okay. let's run the host. No. So this is the host. The host will be by the arrows. Yeah. Now let's run client 1. Okay, client 1 will be over here. P. There's the thing. Right. There we go. Now let's run the third client. So we have IDs 1 and 2. Why is it IDs 1 and 2? Why doesn't the ID start with a 0? However, what IDs do we have here? IDs 1 and 2. 1 and 2. I'm pretty sure if it returns a 0, it does not see an ID. So let this application be a client P 1 2 3 1 2 3 and 1 2 3. Now it sees it. What the hell? Oh, no, it doesn't. 1 2 1. Okay, so something's happening not when the server is created, but when the position is updated. Let's see. 0 1 2 0 1 2. Uh-huh. What the fuck? Spam. Fuck off, people. Okay, so the issue is somewhere here. The issue is either the client is interpreting the receiving data wrong, or the server is not putting it in correctly, or both, or neither, and the problem is somewhere else. So that doesn't really help me a lot. Now let's see. Well, the error did occur client side, and one of the clients was receiving the data correctly, I want to say. Okay, so where are we as a client? As a client, collect local client's data, that's fine. What are we writing here? Get network my client ID. Yes. Add network float. Yes, so it's the receiving message. So if clients want to listen to the message, if message received, and it's something, then get network message integer, ID of the message. Well, I know this works. This stuff here, incoming message type is 1.2. Oh yeah, another thing we have to do is shrink down the array afterwards. Not important right now. Received array size. If array size is below, right, this is the client receiving the position data, isn't it? So this is where the client finds out whether or not there's more players than it first saw. We get the array size, and then we have to write down wait a minute, how many? Temp array size. No, this is the loop. Wait a minute. Isn't this supposed to have two? Instead of first doing the loop and instead of first doing the loop and determining whether or not we should be adding or updating, we should first check whether or not we should update or whatnot, and only then do the other thing. So now I need the second loop here. So if the array is of the same size, this is what I need. Maybe, I don't know. We'll find out. And this is all within if this is a message 1.2. End of okay, before I completely destroy this thing, this is why you don't dick around with brackets. End of the loop, yes. End of if server received array is of the same size. And of, so this is end of message. Yes, and this is, okay, end of message not empty. Okay. Chances are this is not gonna work. Chances are. What are you complaining about? Yeah, of course, of course. Of course, it's some stupid thing. Let's see. Wait, what? You just told me there's an error. Ooh. Before. What the fuck? Syntax error missing before. Hold on, gotta return to the loops, I guess. Okay, let's take a look at this. End of. This is the end of if incoming message is not blank, so this needs to not be here, I think. No errors, okay. Let's see if the demo gods have been merciful to me. A 5. Okay, so first of all, It's an interesting thing. If I move the window to my tiny little screen on the side, oh yeah, that didn't do shit. Okay, fine. We'll just do it like this. You be the server. You, I believe, should have all the codes updated. You be the client. And you need to compile. P. 1, 2, 3. That one's got a fuckload for some reason. So it's a big effect, nothing. Okay, so what do we got here? There I am. There's this thing. Oh, it's writing down its own data. Client connections. I really gotta keep track of okay, let's see. 1, 2. If I look over here, it does not see the seconds. Yeah, okay. Does anybody remember which one was client 1, which one was client 2? Okay, let's do the thing again. This time let's pay attention. This is the server. Oh. I'm gonna position it over here. This is client number 1. P. Alright, we now have 2 array addresses. Both are updating and both are tracking of the other player. Now let's fire up the third client. And before I'm gonna toggle the client mode, shrink it down here and P. Okay. Probably should move it away. So the server and client 2 track seemingly properly. There's client 2. There's the host. There's client 1. But client 1 screws up the positioning because this is client 2 right here, and it's a okay. Oh, and it got me. It gave me an error too on the way out. So that was nice. That was nice. A big. Oh yeah. But this is client 2. Oh yeah, and array shortening again. Gonna have to do that later. I think that's what the error was for. Come on. Any day now I could access. Wait. Oh, it's this one. Okay. So first things first. This is when we receive the data, and this is where the error occurs. If the array we have received, temp underscore array size, right. If it's below, then we're gonna, oh, wait a minute, no, this is why it's not working. Okay, so if we have 3 players upon connection, like client, no, 2 players, client server. Upon connecting to the server sends to the client the array with the amount of players and all their data. If a 3rd player connects, it detects that the array that's inside of the game is smaller than the array that we just received. And I'm using pushback in order to add all the new stuff. So not only does it add the new players, it also adds the existing one. But we don't need to add the existing ones. We just need to add the ones that don't exist. So something tells me I might need to make another loop inside of this one. So, okay, so first we get the data, all the data, player ID, X, Y, and Z. Now we need to do the following. We need to loop through the array size and make sure that the player we're looking at right now does not exist in the array. Okay, so I mean, it's either that or just delete the entire array and write a new one, but something tells me that's not very smart. Okay, so we're gonna say bool client in array exists. We're gonna say true, and it's going to remain true until we set it to false. Now, how do we set it to false? Well, we loop through the entire array of clients and say if, not temp array size, but we need to get the size of the player clients IDs. So if player clients IDs at position XX is equal to, okay, so we only need to do it if we do not find it. So when we loop through the entire thing, if the array, if the ID that we just got is present, so we're gonna start it as false, but if it's present, we're gonna set it to true. So if it's present in the array, we're gonna make sure that this becomes true and only write the data if this remains as false. So we have not found it in the array. If does not equals true. Here we go. Maybe place your bets, everybody. Let me comment this. Check if received player ID is only present in the client's array. Okay, once again, x equals 0 if it's below the current size of the array. So check every position of the array that's in existence. If, oh yeah, let me put the put this inside of a inside of the brackets. So if the slot that we're currently checking does contain the ID, set it to true, and it's going to look through the entire array. If it's going to find one, it's going to set this to true. Before I do this, however, before we do this array, this check, I'm going to set it to false so that it resets for the next entry. Okay. Cross your fingers. Or whatever. Okay. User be the client. I mean server. User stay in the corner because you're a bad boy. User be the client. And user stand in that corner. Okay, so far so good, but this shouldn't be surprising. Next up, I think 3 clients is the most I can run. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna start getting some pretty serious FPS. Yeah, I'm already starting getting FPS drops with 3 clients. Okay. Okay. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. P. Ooh. Okay. Time to test. So let me see if I can pick the positions for all these clients where I can encapsulate all of them in the view. Okay, host moving around. I'm seeing movement on both. Okay, client number 1 moving around. Okay. Client number 2 moving around. Okay, now I'm gonna do the crazy thing. 4th instance of Visual Studio, and now I'm gonna check if player 4 is gonna be showing up properly. Now watch it not be, and it's just gonna be an ever evolving loop. It's just I'm on 20 clients. It's just client 21 doesn't show up properly. Shit. Okay. Yeah. I know. You're not designed to run so many fucking clients at the same time. Where is the thing that I just started? Running. Okay, anything that says running is running. User, you be tiny. And you be in the corner on my tiny ass $20 monitor. And you run another application instance. This is hilarious. Okay. Here we go. Let's put it on top. Put it over here. Okay, I need to quickly reset the thing here. Suspend hotkeys. Okay. Oh, come on. Here we go. UB client 4. I'm surrounded. Ooh, it's moving. It's moving. Okay, so let me go ahead and position myself neatly besides this guy. This is, hold on, I need to totally like not screen share it, but make a recording of this, because this is promotional material right here. I can probably put this stuff on the Game Jolt page for this game as a progress. One sec, gotta mute the mic. Okay, beautiful. It works. Oh man. Okay, that's it. I know that it works. Now, before I forget, I need to program in the array destruction. Kind of an important one and a pretty boring task. Now that all the exciting stuff has been done. Now I need to code in the removal of the extra players. And there's a chopper. Get to that chopper. There's a chopper flying around. Okay. Now, I'm pretty sure there's a client-side disconnect command. Maybe. Ow. I know the server is checking for get network client, kick network client. That's funny. Can kick people. Get network client disconnected. Okay, so this checks if it's been disconnected. Okay. This client may persist for a little while until the background network code gets around to actually deleting it. Got it. Hello, am I allowed to make decisions? Depending on what kind of decisions those are. Also, welcome to the stream. Okay. So, I know that my server automatically checks if the client has disconnected. It happens right up in the somewhere here. No. Host connect, client connected. Somewhere. Temporary client detected. Player clients push back. Create a new player object. Why don't I just look for, there we go, disconnected. So, and we received this right at the beginning, apparently. Helping with programming? Depends on what kind of help. There really isn't. The reason I'm doing this is because I need to learn C++, because I'm going to be making games in Unreal Engine later on, like way later on, and I would like to be using C++ instead of Blueprints. So this, I know that this engine supports Basic and C++, and I started making this game in Basic, and I figured, you know what, I might as well come back to it, because this game was originally started in 2015 as like a tiny little experiment, and now I'm just using it as an excuse to learn C++. So me offloading programming onto someone else is kind of counterintuitive to what I'm trying to do here. But you know, help is always welcome when I get around to a project that actually needs it. Okay, so we get our delete network client. So this deletes the network client, and we still have the ID. So this is the actual client. We check if the client with the ID, educate programmer myself. Ah, nice. Okay, so you're from the AJK forum. Nice. Okay, it's funny. It's funny you actually found this live stream. Yeah, man. Well, it's always nice to know other AJK programmers. Not a whole lot the engine really doesn't get enough publicity. I think the fact that it's all code based is scaring a lot of people off. But you know, slowly moving along. I just got 4 clients, or I got the client system connection figured out for now. Get network server ID. Okay, so by this time we have the ID. We just need to do the following. We need to create a message with containing the ID of the player that we have just kicked or disconnected, and we need to make sure that all other clients delete the array entry with the containing the player data, and yeah, make space basically. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I could either make this an entire new function, which would probably make sense. If I make it an entire new function, then I can call it for both kick and disconnection, but to be honest, is it really all that bad? Sure, I might as well. So we'll supply an integer. I wanted to say you don't need to rinse through all the clients in for the loop. You can stop as soon as you find the client. Yes, that's definitely what I'm going to be doing here. I should probably double check the other loops, like updating the information. Like, for example, if the receiving, what I'm doing is if the receiving client, it receives the array with all the players, so it skips the one that belongs to itself, so it doesn't need to actually do anything with that. So I'll make sure to break out of the loop as soon as we find find the array entry. But this function is just for the send client disconnected MSG. And actually no, this thing isn't supposed to return anything. Void, and we're gonna send an integer client disconnected. Okay. Now, first things first is find and remove client from own array. Ooh, if I actually send a custom message that makes all the clients removed, then I don't need to make a third if statement for checking if the array is smaller than the receiving array on the client side. So that should actually handle that. Okay, find and remove client from own array. Okay, I have written enough of these loops checking for the client's ID so that I could just copy it. Okay, if client equals 0, if below the ID's client size ID, do this. Okay, so if the current client that we're looking at is equals to the ID we have just supplied, then remove. Okay, so I know it's not a pushback function. Array pushback. Let me open up that that resource. C++. Here we go. Oh, it's a vector one actually. Shit. Never mind. Here we go. So what kind of functions do we have for vectors? We have insert. I need the inverse of insert. Retract, reverse, resize, size swap, shrink to fit. So, wait a minute. Requests the container to reduce its capacity to fit the size. The request is non-binding and the container implementation is free to optimize, otherwise leave the vector with the capacity created and make cost oh, that's not good. No reallocation, thank you very much. Can't have that. Insert erase. What does erase mean? Removes from the vector either a single element at position, this sounds like it, or a range of elements. Okay, so I remember having a bit of an issue with this because I can't just put in a position. It needs to have a position that starts from the beginning of the array. So player kind's ID, iterator position. So I need to, I think, let's see, where have I used this already? Erase. Here we go. So from the beginning plus whatever position we're currently looking at. Okay, how many of these arrays am I using? Player ID, player object, X, Y, Z. Great. Phantasmo. Player ID, player object, player X, player Z, player Y. I'm gonna have to also add the player rotations, and then when the player looks around in the world, other players can actually see where he's looking. So many possibilities with just this basic mechanic. Anyways, so this should solve it on the client side. Yes, maybe. So in the client side, when we are server side, when we are disconnecting. Oh yeah, and I've got a break out of that one too. So we're gonna, before we delete the network client, let's go ahead and send the thing. It's probably easier to just type it up. Okay. So once we find it, break. Okay, let's see. Oh, 1 second. Let me also. What are you complaining about? Erase, erase. Of course you're complaining about the erase. Why wouldn't you become... Oh yeah, that's right. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Again, one of those errors that would have cost me hours upon hours upon hours of trying to figure out why it's not working. Okay. So here we go. You be the server, you be the client. Whee! It's working. Okay, now if I disconnect, this has done fuck all. Okay. So what are we doing wrong here? No. We are firing it. Yeah. Send client disconnect message. Send client disconnect message. What? It's not seeing it. So, did I misspell it? Ah, no, that's this thing over here. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Supply an integer, client. Why am I supplying an integer and not... I am supplying... No, I am comparing it properly. It's just Visual Studio is stupid and doesn't want to select the variables of the same thing unless I press Control F. Okay. Remove your disconnected clients. If this client has disconnected, let me actually check that this is actually firing. Print dropped. Okay, I'll know when I see this. It's kind of a weird one. Let me not forget my semicolons. Okay, you be the server. You be the client. P. Okay. Aha! I saw it. It did disconnect. It should be entering this function, as far as I can say. No. It's breaking out of the loop after the first entry. It should be breaking out of the loop after it detects and deletes stuff. Fucking hell. The amount of times I made mistakes of placing shit outside of the for loop when it's supposed to be inside of the for loop is staggering. I have no words. I never learn. I never learn. Same shit, different toilet. Every single game I'm working on. Ah, man. Okay. So. Oh shit. I created 2 servers. I was not supposed to do that. I wonder if the first server is going to be able to see it, or if its network has been overwritten. P. It sees it. Cancel. What happens if I add another player right now? Actually. Come on. Come on. Come on. Well, this is oh. Visual Studio complaining. Stop complaining. Get back to work. Here we go. P. So, that is the 3rd entry. Close that up. It's zeroing out the values. It's just not deleting the array. does need a pointer, doesn't it? Player client ID, object X, Y, Z. Yeah, let me check if it's HK print. I know there's probably a handful of debugging commands and debugging functions that I could be using to make this sort of checking easy, but I have grown up using the print for my debugging. Okay, P. Okay, I should really maximize this window though. Well, I saw it. Hold on, how many clients does the server report? So it says connections, 1 connection. With this one, as soon as this thing connects, 2 connections. And when I leave, 1 connection. Okay, so it should be doing this all right. Okay. Let's see. End of loop. And if client's ID hold on a second. Yeah, this is the correct way of addressing it. If it's equals to the client disconnected. Jesus. Most certainly annoying. Could I be anywhere creating the array again, even though after I have deleted it? Although, here's the thing. Right after we... Where is it? Right after we check if this is actually a player. If this is actually a player that we're currently checking. If it has disconnected, and which message is this, by the way? If this is a server, if, well, we're just going by the client count. You know what? I feel like I should make a separate... I'm gonna make a separate loop separate loop that goes once again, goes through all of the clients. So this thing's gonna have to be probably at the top, if not at the bottom, but where's that do loop? Here's the do loop. While id equals 0, apply your own data to the array. Yes, okay, so cycle through network clients, or AJK network clients, and delete from array. So first of all, this is if the player is there. Now I just need to copy this. Whoops. Copy this do loop. Just this one. Take this and do this until it returns as 0. Separate loop, but shouldn't be too bad. We're just doing the same thing twice. Hold on, where'd the thing go? I need to copy it. Thank you very much. Not cut it. Okay. So this I can probably do that. Okay. Where does this belong to? This is the do loop. This actually should end here. Oh. Okay. Ah, not so exciting. Well, there's no gameplay footage. Okay, so once again, we set the server clients to 1. We're gonna do this. If it's a 1, we check the first client, else we check the next client. We do this until the ID returns as 0, which means it finished scanning the entire network. After we get the ID, we do +1. Now, if the ID that we're currently checking returns that it's disconnected, before deleting it from the network, we're going to clear our array. And this happens outside of any other loop. Yes, of course there were errors. Server client side count, redefinition, multiple initialization. Yes, that's because I am initializing it multiple times, and I shouldn't be doing that. So, how's everybody doing? And what's everybody up to? Besides watching me losing my mind. O, be the server. And P, you be the client. If I disconnect, it removes the array entry correctly. Woo, 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 woo. It doesn't remove the object though. It's the ghost. It's the ghost. But we can fix that. And before removing the object, before moving the object entry, we're gonna go ahead and say AJK. What's the command? Object remove. Come on, suggestions. Why you never work when we need you? Oh, it's because it's not in the main loop. Okay, fine. Googling time. Good use of the bloom shader. Yeah, it took me a little while to figure out how the hell that was working, considering that the first time I did this was in 2015. And this was the first time I actually touched AppGameKit for the sake of a project. Not just, you know, lollygagging with different arrays. And that was done in BASIC, so I figured, you know, for the time being, since my other game is awaiting for script completion, so we can continue object delete all object, delete object with okay, just object, that's all I need. While my other game is awaiting for a completion of a script, or at least a part of it, I figured I'd keep the ball rolling on the programming stuff and you know, work on this stuff. Do you remember this game or another game? That's the question. Okay, so we'll need to delete the player object whatever this is in the CL. I think this should remove this one. Ah, okay. Well, the other project is actually done in GameMaker Studio. This one is a 2D project, and it's taking a lot of benefit for, or it's benefiting quite a bit from the level creation. Not level creation, but the whatchamacallit. Art tag rise trailer, the tiling tool and the you know, the level editor and all that stuff. So a game like this, here we go. Here's the link. A game like this is pretty damn hard to actually make in AppGameKit. There's quite a whole lot of tool creation I'd have to do. Actually, I don't think that comment will pop up in the actual thing, so I probably need to post this here. I don't know why. Restream. I need to contact the Restream guys. I think it might be another bug. Okay, server side clients count. Okay, let me test this out. There were build errors. Of course there were. Oh yeah. AJK. Meh. Yes. Control F7. Term does not evaluate to a function as what? Token argument 1, 726. Yeah, it's right here. So why? It has no problem printing the print function. Does it? Yeah, no errors as far as it says. And I have AGK stuff here. What the hell? This is weird. I mean, if it's being fussy, I could probably just return the ID of the object that it detected and just delete it from over here, considering that AGK. This is weird. It stopped highlighting the AGK library. Not sure why. Very strange behavior. Template CPP. Hold on, why is it template CPP? This is kind of weird. Wait a minute. Why is it template CPP? It's not supposed to be template CPP. Let me save this. Dream Temple SLN. Okay. Yeah, it's supposed to be template CPP. pylons, generate terrain, remove client disconnect. Okay, here we go. Call an object or class of type. And that is why it's complaining. There we go. That was kind of weird though. So let me fire up this thing and run another instance. Call it the Tiny Studio. Yep. That is okay. H and U. I forgot what the hell I'm testing. Oh yeah, the deletion of the client object inside of the host. Actually, I think it was a good idea that I made it into a function, because random value. Ah, crap! I created them both as clients. Because I can use the same function on the client side too. You be the server. You be the client. P. Hey, nice. Okay. So cancel. Beautiful. Ah, oh, that's beautiful. Ah, oh, so good. Okay. So first of all, yes, we're gonna break out of the loop. Now we need to create the network message for all of the other clients to do the same, to delete that player from the array. Okay, so where are we building our network messages? Network message, okay. Send, okay. Here we go. Sure thing. Create network message. Then we get the client ID. I'm not really sure, but for some reason if you use create network message, you can't get the ID of the client who sent the message unless you actually include it in the message. That's the wrong cup. Anyways, moving right along. First is always the ID, second is always the message type. Now, this can be 1.3. Remove. So how did you find this live stream actually? Just out of curiosity. Because as far as I know, I think, well, no, you're actually on YouTube, so Twitch search stuff wouldn't really apply to it, would it? Okay, remove disconnected client message massage. Got it. And the only thing we need to really supply is the ID of the client, right? Right? Yes. Okay, add network integer. We're gonna add it into the outgoing message, and it's going to be the client description content. After which, we're gonna send the packet throughout the server. Not to the server, no. This actually has to be 0 to all clients. Outgoing message, net ID, and then we delete the temporary message. Okay. This is how to do it. Yeah, but now we need client interpretation of the message though. Posted YouTube vids in the forum and I remembered the game I went to search. Ah, got it. Okay. Got it. Yeah, it's been a while since that version of the project. Wow. 2015. It's like pretty much almost 3 years ago. Practically. 2018 is just around the corner. So what are you up to? What are you making? What kind of games are you working on? Okay, where's my client? Is client. Let me put a bookmark in here as well. Okay. Okay, here we go. If I should really make visible separators for message types. App Game Kit shader pack. Really? Wait, you mean the shader pack? The one that's on the App Game Kit store? The one that I bought? Like the one that's on Steam as a DLC, is that it? Damn. Got some celebrities in the live stream. That's nice. Yeah, a lot of really useful stuff in that one. Stuff that I would hate to have to code myself. One thing though is I bought that shader pack realistically for just one shader, the ambient occlusion shader. Because the ambient occlusion would do some, at a very like low-key, subtle way, but still present, it would be beneficial in this particular game. There's only one problem. It's I'm not sure, like I'd probably have to go into digging with the files, but the ambient occlusion is very, I'm not sure if it's the sampling or if it's the size of the texture. Here, let me see if I can open this thing up actually. Where was this thing? Dream Temple. Let's see. It's in here. DLCs, shader pack, screen space ambient occlusion. Okay. So this is the executable. Okay, so the one thing, so this looks all right from the get-go, but so it's the steppy motion and they're very jumpy. Like I can see half of that block is not covered by ambient occlusion, right? If I move my camera around this, something that looks like anti-aliasing, I mean, it could be just the App Game Kit's interpretation of the shader and just nothing to do with the shader itself. But, I mean, I can't help but... we got some jumping going on depending on the position of the camera. But I can't help to compare the ambient occlusion to things that I'm usually seeing in things like Maya or Unreal Engine, which obviously, you know, they're like some pretty heavy comparisons to make to, but I can't really say that I can really use this in a game when, you know, slight movement of the camera, like technically this is a 1-point perspective right here, so the ambient occlusion shouldn't really change. Maybe it's something I can go into the shader to edit, maybe up the once again, I don't know how I've looked into the code. I haven't really followed the logic of it. I've just been kind of blindly playing around with some of the variables you can put in. But for the most part, some places are a bit too dark. Corners are kind of weird. Like, you know, once again, I'm coming from like Maya, Arnold / Mental Ray, and Unreal Engine's ambient screen space ambient occlusion, which is kind of smooth. I can see like a lot of like this anti-aliasing-esque effect going on. I can't really say what's the actual technical term to it, but it just kind of breaks away from the visual aesthetic. It's probably still usable if I, you know, dick around with the values, but I don't know where the issue might be. Right, I can see some white edges right over there. Only if I get in kind of close, it goes away. You know, that kind of stuff. Not the most technical description of an issue I've ever made. But anyways, what's the also, you have the shader in your package, whatchamacallit. It's the lighting shader. No, not the lighting shader. What's the one with the light maps on the depth of field shader is amazing. It's actually really good. But what's the shader that's wireframe, X-ray? Not dissolve shader, no. Depth of field for maybe it's the lighting shader, I don't know. No, it's not this one. Templates. Oh, shader pack, okay. It's not in the water. It's somewhere. It's anyways, what I was saying, well, you know what I'm talking about. There's the shader that allows you to make light maps, like for textures and 3D objects. And I have a light map on this object here. I have a light map on this object here. As you can see, even in the shadow, it's actually lighting up. So did you make the shader pack and then App Game Kit added this functionality? Or are you offering something different in that shader? Because that's an interesting subject I try to figure out. But not a critical thing. It's just something to ponder about. Anyways, message interpretation. I gotta do this. I got 30 minutes before I have to go to work. And I don't want to. But I got 2 days off. After. So got 2 days off to do this stuff. And I'm not too sure. Oh man, there's so many things that I can actually do from what some people suggested in the stream with this mechanic. I can make a prop hunt type of deal. I can make like a tag game, hide and seek game, you know, at the core of the mechanics. And that's besides the, you know, like platformer, last man standing type of deal. Whew. The imagination runs wild. Anyways, where's the client? Here's the client. Why is this empty? Why did I create... What? Hold on a minute. If this is a client, this is, if this is a server, this is where the other bookmark is supposed to be. I'm not sure what this is. No, not all of the bookmarks. How do I delete you? Clear all bookmarks and files. Okay, here we go. You can have the address. I see. All right. Well, good to know that the support is open for the shader. I saw a message earlier. I totally forgot to read it. Okay. So if this is a client, we've got our message 1.2. Now we've got our message somewhere else. Yeah, 1.2, 1. Oh yeah, we're only receiving one message from the client. I should really get into the habit of prefixing messages from the server to start with a 2 and messages with the client to start with a 1, but oh well. We'll figure this out. So this is the end. If this is a message from the thing. Are you working on any games though? Or is it just tools? There's another guy who he's kind of like, I don't know, he kind of reminds me of you a little bit. Not that, you know, we've had enough of a conversation to make such a comparison, but he comes from predominantly from the game maker community, and he's like all about making prototypes and different tools and different stuff. Not games, just prototypes. I mean, he's making a game in Unity, but whenever it's like it's game maker stuff, it's like, I gotta make prototypes, I gotta make tools, I gotta do this stuff. Never games in Game Maker Studio. But then he is in university, so the fact that he has time to make prototypes is amazing in of itself. Okay, if incoming message is 1.3, server notifying of a disconnected user. Client. Excuse me. Alright, so if this message is this, I think I should be able to simply send it into the same function. Right? Oh yeah. First, let's read the thing. Integer temp disconnected client equals, and now we read get message integer, and then we read the message. That's the only message that's contained within this thing. Let's see. Create message. Integer ID, integer message type, integer client ID. That's it. Yeah. Thieving Knight is back in the stream. Isn't it like 5 o'clock in the morning right now? Okay. Send client disconnect message. We're gonna supply this thing. After this is done, that's the end. Then delete message. Here's another thing, actually, with App Game Kit. I have a counter. Well, it's not a counter. It basically displays the ID of a network message. So here's the thing. It's the network message ID keeps going up, right? First of all, so if I make this server, make this sucker as a client. P. So as you can see, there's a number in the client that keeps going up. So these are just the printing of the IDs of the network messages, which, by the way, it should not be sending or receiving any messages right now. So I'm not sure what's going on. But anyway, see the numbers going up. Isn't there a limit of how many data types the integer could have? So wouldn't the integer value at some point reach the end and return fufu? Okay, so what is going on here? Why is it doing this? Let's see. It's deleting here properly. Let's see. Message type. It means that we keep sending the message here, isn't it? But it shouldn't be sending the message here. So if I go here, static unsigned integer, if the ID which we have just received is one, I know that it deletes it, so does it constantly print it? Drop message, okay. Oh. Also, I'm gonna have to upscale the game objects quite a bit because the shadows are very, very steppy. It's a never-ending plague. Drop message. Okay, so it is constantly parsing that that message. Why is it doing so? Is the, let's see. There we go. So end of if this message is 1.2. If incoming message is something, yes. So it's receiving a valid message. And this is why, actually maybe it's gotta be an else if. Let's see. If 1.2, else if incoming messages equals 1.3. Get network message float. It's right here. Incoming message. This is the server side. I'm deleting both network messages after they have been read. Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. is... Oh, son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. It's stuck in an infinite loop of sending messages to itself. Well, not itself, but it... Damn it. God damn it. Okay, so I'm gonna have to make boolean is server. So, only send the message if is server is equals to true. So the server was sending the client a message that the client has disconnected, and that was sending the message to the server, and the server was sending the message back to the client. And thus the infinite loop of shenanigans has ensued. So now we're gonna say false. I think. Expected a declaration. Okay, here we go. And there's another place where it's gonna return an error where this is the server. True. Annoying. But doable. Oh. That's what I get for trying to be smart. Oh, I can use the same function to clear on both server and client side. Okay. P. It's still sending the message. It's not updating. What the fuck? What the hell is this? So we'll do P. I mean, the server side seems to be doing all right. If I disconnect with the client, if the client disconnects, okay, well, anyways, moving right along. Create a network message. If is server is equals to true, we only set this to true if this is a server executing the function. Set it to false if it's not. Should I be maybe resetting this to what kind of a variable is it actually? It's a float, and it's temporary float. So minus 0. What? No. Minus 0.1 or minus 1.0. Pretty sure floats should be able, yeah, they should be able to go into the negative. So isn't this supposed to actually happen after every single message? Reset message to avoid double execution. Right. Let's check it. Let's check if this thing works here. And if it works here, it should work elsewhere. Let's make O. Yes. And let's go ahead and create a client. Let's do P. And it's still doing it. What in the hell is the little message that pops up in there? So what is it updating? Okay. Let me look at the loop that sends the data. Cycle through HK network clients and delete disconnected ones from the array. Do get the ID. Do plus plus. Maybe I should put this at the end. If the ID we have just received is disconnected. Let me look into this. This? Oh, what the hell? Why is this inside of a loop? This isn't supposed to be inside of a loop. Ah, damn it, man. Once again. Before I'm gonna say it, let me check if it's gonna work now. Okay. It wouldn't really make sense if that fixed it though. Not really. Okay, so you stay up there. You stay down here. And it's still getting the message. It's still getting the darn message. Maybe there is a duplicate message type. Let's say that the float is actually going to be 2.3, which is, or 7.3, just a random number. Here we go. So if this message is equals to 7.3, which I know is a value I've never used anywhere. I think I may have actually used 1.3 somewhere else though. I don't, maybe? Coming message. Okay, so let's see. If it's a 7.3, oh, I could just be receiving the wrong data if it's a message with the same ID as some other message. Well, slim. Yeah, sure. Sure. See? It keeps getting... maybe it's the place. Yeah. Is it? Maybe it's the location where I'm applying the data. Maybe it is the location where I am applying the data, because it could be creating an entry and deleting it right away if there's a disconnect between the two. Also, god damn it, I have to go to work now. Alright, well, we'll figure this out in the next live stream. I still got quite a bit done. Not a whole lot, but quite a bit. Oh well. Gotta go to work. See you in the next one, which is tomorrow for sure. I've got a day off tomorrow and the day after, so that's going to be a whole lot of programming and a whole lot of live streaming. And a whole lot of progress, unless I get stuck on some stupid thing. Alright. Adios.